So, I've been busy working on another helmet, so I actually haven't showed any of this. I printed the whole thing off, and I'll put some pictures and stuff of it. It's several pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there was 7 and 8, but I took the 7 and 8 off, and I'm going to round this out here because this only fits on my son's head that way. It's kind of a wide, short, kids style head. The only thing that you've missed is I put it together using super glue. Put all the pieces together using super glue. I haven't bondoed or anything on it. All I've done is super glued it and painted it, and then I've been wet sanding it. And then I used a blow dryer to kind of stretch it out, stretch the sides out. It's kind of, you can see this little bin there. Stretch the back out so it would fit my son's head perfectly. So now we're actually going to do work to it. I'm actually going to cut these sides. We've already got the base coat of spray paint on here, so I don't really need any primer. I'm going to wet sand this more, and in the areas that still need some, flattening out or whatever, then I'll kind of address those. But for the most part, all this needs is a few layers of spray paint. Basically what I'm going to be doing is taking my Dremel. How I like to cut is just using these sanding discs. And you have to do it kind of in a slow manner because these sanding discs are very, very fragile. The ones from Hyper Tough. The ones from Dremel themselves aren't too bad. They're pretty expensive, but the ones from Hyper Tough are super cheap. They do the same work, you just have to go a little bit slower. So I hold it against my body in one hand on here. And I'm basically just going to draw it out. I basically just draw it out, scratch it in there of where I'm going to be cutting first off. Then do the other side to kind of match it. And kind of look at both sides. Make sure they're basically the same. Yep. And then this PLA, I made it thin enough here. It's not going to take too much. I might bust through 2 or 3 of these, but it's not going to be too bad as long as I go slow. Okay, I just went to about there, and I've got this about halfway through up here, and it's so hot that it basically just melts. PLA doesn't take much to melt, so you can just bend it through. See, the cool thing about using a sanding disc is as you're doing it, you can basically sand. So I'm going to twist this little part off here. Like that. And then there's some jagged edges still on there. You can just take your sanding disc part of it and just go really lightly. There we go, one side. Didn't even chew through the sanding disc. Probably will on this one though. PLA melts. The good thing about it melting is you're cutting in to where the infill should be, but since you're melting it back, it's melting a layer across the top of that. Sometimes that won't happen, especially if you go too fast. You know you're going too fast if you don't get that. Alright, so now you can see we've got basically matches up. Pretty cool helmet here. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Really happy with that. Cool. I dig that. I'm just going to take some dry sandpaper now. Alright, so the red paint is dried. I'm going to be using this metallic black. And this is super easy to do. It should be, anyways. If it doesn't turn out that way and ends up being a mess, like other things have ended up, then that's gonna suck. And basically all you do, get you some on your brush and just kind of get it down in there. And then you can wipe it. Wipe the outside. And this spray paint is just slick enough that this black paint shouldn't stick to it. In fact, it's having a hard time sticking to the inside here. So I'm just going to load it up and do that whole thing. Got these little pieces left over from I was gonna put these on the Kylo Ren. They were I ended up cutting it like too small or something, so I'm just gonna score them. They're about perfect size, so I'm just scoring them. Break. Whoops. Try to score it. If you're going to score tinted plastic or glass, score it on the other side. And they'll basically just go in like that. So this is going to take a while because I got to make sure I get this right. I'm basically just going to super glue these in. Then that sucks. So I'm only going to put small bits of super glue in spots on the outer part of the rim, which you're not going to be able to see. Just kind of little bubbles all the way around the rim. Then take this. I've got to make sure I come in here just right. And hold it there till the super glue dries. And then of course whenever it gets done, I'll just go on the inside and around the area, I'll put some more super glue in for some reinforcement. It's going to create like a lip on the inside. I was going to go back and smooth all this out. I'll say this while I'm holding it, but Braden actually likes all that because he says it makes it look more battle damaged. I agree with him. It looks pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and keep it all deformed in certain areas because it looks like it might have been a metal helmet and somebody beat him over the head with a metal bat or something. You know? If you blow into it to help it dry, make sure you close your eyes because it will come back in your eyes and burn the shit out of your eyes. And if you do it too much, you get too much super glue fume in your eyes, you will get chemical burns on your eyes, which I have had before, and your eyes will be blurry for the next like 6 to 12 hours. There you go. Got the eyes all in and good. Only problem with on the inside, my fingers got some super glue on them, so it's kind of a bit rough to see. So today, my son tried it on and he was running around and got these two little pieces here that are pretty sharp, right on the edge there, and he's having trouble with that. Only problem is now that they're in, there's not really much I can do. I'm going to try to go ahead and score them with a razor blade and then see if I can break them off, but I don't want to knock them, I don't want to get them I mean, they're glued in pretty good. I just don't want to accidentally pop them out of the... There we go. Get one corner off. Then I'm going to put some... He says it kind of hurts his nose a little bit. So I'm going to score this. And pushing down on... Well, you can't really see that. I'm going to try to push down. That way I don't... That one popped right off. So now those are off. Man, I hate that I don't know what I can use to take super glue off of the inside of that, but you can see when I've got it on my computer screen just how bad the fingerprintage is on there. You can't see it through the front, but you can definitely see it through the back. I don't know if he's just gonna have to live with having blurry vision, or if that's something that we can... Oh, I just use spit. Shit! That was easier than I thought it was going to be. That's funny. Alright, so I'm going to take some padding like the other ones. And I'm actually going to do this a little different. I'm going to try and get just a little strip right there for his nose. Handy dandy. This has become my favorite glue. I've got a top 10 where I talk about the regular super glue version of this and the gel version. I've gotten to a point where the gel version is the one I use the most because it's better. And I'm just going to dabble it. It doesn't run. Regular super glue runs. Wherever you put it, it stays. And you can gunk it up like crazy on there. And it just stays in place. That's the only part that he said he needed padding. I usually pad the hell out of these. If you guys have seen my other builds, you'll see that I usually put a ton of padding in. I think I'm going to go ahead and put some on the sides anyways. The other paddings that I've done, I usually do the top, but the sides, the back, and the front. But this fits tight enough on his head that I don't really need much. So I'm going to put just these thin pieces of foam. Just some extra padding whenever you're out cosplaying or him just playing around acting like he's Red Hood. If he runs into something, make him look a little nice. Square him up. Super glue along there. I'm just going to stick that right in the top center. Place it in and it'll stick almost immediately. There. Now the inside's padded. Doesn't have a lot of padding, but it's padded. Especially the nose. And now it's time for weathering. When putting the eye parts in, one of the eyes over here, you can see that little mark right up there, and he really likes that, so we're going to make it look like something's right here along the side and then kind of came to the glass. So I'm just going to kind of try a new technique where I just kind of mark the paint on it. It's going to soak into these grooves. It's going to look really weathered. Now I'm going to go in with this black. Actually, I have a better black. Cigarettes are good for something. Now let's see if it sinks in here. The theory is it should go into the mark, and then when I wipe it away, there, you see that? It's just a little mark. Let's see this bigger one. Bigger one will be a lot better for you guys to see. I can see the mark really good. So I'm going to just go along here, try to get all of that in there as much as I can. And put it on thick so it gets in there. All the cracks and crevices. Take that. There we go. Now it really looks like a mark comes across. Yeah, looks really cool. This one down here in the front. These ones aren't near thick enough, but I'll try to get that paint all down in there. There we go. You guys won't really be able to see it because the camera's going to pick up all this red around it. But I can see it really good. I keep looking through the camera thing and I can't see it at all. But my regular eye, I mean you can see it right off the bat. Now I'm just going to come in here and get all up in there. I'm not going to show you this whole process because it takes a while to do.
Like villains with those, you know, like those villains that have like baseball bats, like those guys sent me.
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh yeah, it does.
I'm gonna kinda...
So basically just like putting black paint on it and then like rubbing it. That's how you wet though.
Yeah, well, you can do this. Look at that. It's got the silver sheen to it. So I'm gonna do this across the front here. You just go like this. It's a little bit black, a little bit of silver. And silver smears. Then you can just pat it all in. And now take a dry part, pat it in some more.
Looks cool.
Look how grimy that helmet looks.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Looks awesome.
We need to do that over every part that's got too much just nice red, like here on the sides.
Yeah.
Just need a bunch of this in. Just do that across the entire
Like
helmet.
on the other helmet, can it just be like plain red without no weathering, like plain dark red?
Yeah, we can make it like it's a brand new helmet.
Like he got in like his old helmet, which is this one, just got destroyed. You know, he
Or
got
it's
a new
just
helmet.
this one before it got all beat up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I got dark in all the right places.
Oh yeah, you did. It looks so dope.
I'm going to do that all over the entire thing. Go get me some more of this stuff.
Okay.
Paper. Cosplay Chris says you can overdo it. There's another guy online that I was just watching that said you can't really overdo this part. I'm just putting all this all over it. We're gonna make this thing look grimy as shit. You've been battling people for
Years.
a while. And this red really isn't like red anymore. It's just so battle damaged. Yeah, I think I'm done weathering it. It looks really good. I'll stick that on your head or else you'll get super glue stuck in your head. Is it still recording?
Yeah.
So while my finger was inside of here, I stuck my finger into some of that super glue. If you ever do that, just take this stuff here. It's nail polish remover. And I just put it in the cap. And I'm just going to stick my finger in there for a little bit. Da, 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 da. And you can feel it already going in. I can already feel it against my skin underneath the super glue. I usually wear gloves. I probably should have worn gloves in this case. So, anyways, that's all.